Statement in the said to Otumfuo said to no Edde and Sebio Nyansa Wumpa. Nyansa Wome free say a statement to be a Sebio Yebenya or see nyam penny for Nancy me say a year John Mahama a year ne campaign okupie doma and Sebio ahemfo mo ho ene doma henemo. They were also very strict on Edian a year galamsey hunsem. In fact, I have heard say the regional House of Chiefs of Doma area hono issue a very strong statement to the government to say they want the government to take action immediately, and yes sir, they will take over the land. Then they will find responsible miners to mine. Enti ahimfuni bi kasa Otumfuo kasa Doma hene kasa, people are speaking. Now the question here is utie Otumfuo osetutu asema waka efa galamsey hu. Doing nothing no longer an option. Galamsey is an enemy of the nation. Otumfuo said to Endra Okasa ewo Ghana Bar Association omo dinner. Ena Otumfuo said to Ekasa oho. Na asama Otumfuo kan and say adia your friend Galamsey no or say doing nothing. So why anya shia? Say anya shia anya option. Eni say you say ni say anya bibia e wo say ye bibi fa ho. Into Otumfuo catch Ghana for say you only one option, and the only option is for us to tackle galamsey problem. Recently, Matis Otumfuo up and pampe asa etu ahemfu bebre ewa asantimemu if you say ebimo and ohuni say omo they are involved in galamsey. Now momi anko tie Otumfuo o say to statement to make here sene beya obi enje mano ensi bone se me chirechire eye asem we mu a.
Galamsey is an environmental enemy for the nation. What could be more serious for any people than to have the entire water supply system at risk? So, I think as lawyers you should find space during this conference to set up a panel to undertake a quick tour of the communities where this scourge is most prevalent, to see the extent of the crisis we face and hopefully deliberate on how the law should respond. As I see it, if an individual poisons the water supply of a community, he will be liable for severe consequences under the law. What does the law do when one pours mercury into the same water supply, knowing fully well it can kill? Zone. This issue now requires the collective effort of all sections of society. Zone. To do nothing is no longer an option. The Bar Association, the Medical Association, and the universities, in particular my university, should get together and carve a new path to deal with this emergency. Yesterday, whilst I was driving from Cape Coast, in fact, going to Cape Coast, I stopped over at the River Pra. And it was, I'm afraid I have to tell you that what I saw, the river, it was so embarrassing. And then if as a nation we live for this to happen.
So Otumfuo said to Nana Ekase, Nana Okasa efa galamsey hu eye lawyers omo Ghana nyina eye programmer na omo keka omo de enyoma eduane kakra keka oma no a omo to omo safre Otumfuo say tutu na okasa ho ne nsema na okanyina no say eye galamsey no sebio abeye ade a sebio yentumi nka say yensia no sisia bebi edu no yepeo e o say ye pekwan bi so ne yesia no Otumfuo kasa no medwudwema o say lawyers and the omunyina hia obibia na okasa no osin kopese lawyers for no ethics committee bi na saa committee no ekọ nkuro a ye galamsey wo so na omfo omoni nkohu de esi na sebio omometena se na omumbo omutirimupo emfa sebio adwene bi mra na galamsey ko no yenko Otumfuo ekasa na o say sebio e wo say yetume atwi nipa bi aso omo galamsey o Ghana na osaka semi o say na eye se obi edi edubone ana chemical egu insuom ese nsuo ema nipa nomwu ana ese nipa senua ese na obusa question na obusa se obi di ewu so obi ye galamsey se chema wontumi edi se den Kate Jemfua edi se Sampan edi se MPP MPs Kojo Ponkroma eye den Kweku Baako mo ne Gabi Ochida komo no so omo ye galamsey na so omo di edrogu nsuo nim edi se Ankobra et se pra na se nipa bi abatan enom abatan ma bi nom eye den eye mrantie ne maba wanom na se sebio ekuom na eku asase no sai nsuo na emra no edien asotwe na ewose edema nipa no Otumfuo se tutu na obusa asem Otumfuo sa akasa no se ose bebi adu ne de eye galamsey okon no abaye collective effort yen nyina yen ka ye humbom na yen ko okopa na yen fambre eye galamsey ase na dia okaye etwa ato no se na nsemu okomia me krom fantememu okobo mu sebi okosupporti eye ogwa afahye no nti o drive ye na sebi otwam ewo pra so a odu river pra no so no de nani hu ye no ne hu dwiri ne yie sebi osu ni to eye ne mobo ohu insuo nani de aye insuo aye bo ne nana tuo wom insuo aye bo ne wofatuo wom insuo asanteman ekwa ako ye ku eye osetutu ono na busuani wom a sebi otomu tron ekoto ase a wentumi asori biem besi nne a ende edi afahye ede kai no ose ohwe insuo nani na ohwe sibia insuo nani ekọ na ose ne hu dwiri no. Now I want to ask a simple question, and I really appreciate Otumfuo statement. It is straightforward. The same way he was also straightforward and emphatic. And I like it when chiefs are emphatic. I like it when chiefs are straightforward. When they try to speak directly to the issues. I really like it because what happens is they are aware of their surroundings. It means ahemfo akese omo Ghana yana ahona hene kese Otumfuo doma hene eyemfantefo hene meankasem Nana Addo ahemfo omo Ghana galamsey omasaso nyina. They know what is actually happening and they know the aftermath and the consequences are yene Ghana for yebekum. Inti it acknowledges their knowledge about what is actually going into nyina ne sese ano ya beti ase se ahemfo akese omo Ghana nyina no omo nyina nim se galamsey no yeye ese asase ekum nipa. Now, so uku enim kakra meba Otumfuo asem no so no. Se ohwe de AC Ghana. Eye Ejumakuo from the Chamber of Agribusiness is preparing to stage a demonstration citing the unchecked destruction of agricultural farmland by illegal miners as the primary reason. You see a Chamber of Agribusiness omo share eye den eye ekuadwuma so emu business for no omo said abi omo so ebe ye den oye kire kese e de tia eye se ne galamsey no omo nim se ehun sunsanso no ebe sei Ghana nsase a ebe meduane ho akwatwe a eye aduane ho eye den eye business and I say dwumadie no ebe ma no so ate into omo se eye agribusiness for no and I say omo mo ye eye agriculture ndwuma semunu no omo so now that is one. Now look at this too. UTAG threatens nationwide strike after September 30 should government fail to ban mining for gold and other minerals in forest reserves, farms and rivers. UTAG for Ejumakuo Omunyina Association University Teachers Association of Ghana omu nyina komutira bom se ye kire after 30th of September edito intosuko ko kire aban no sene amohu se galamsey no ese yensuo ese de nnua ese nsase a ebema Ghana aho kire ye frena ho kire sebio ye ho be kire ye pan tom so se omo be ye oye kire kese e de etia de ekoso. Now let's go back to Otumfuo Osetutu asemono. And it's not just Otumfuo Osetutu. Ya statica galamsey wonsem enyende. Ya ka galamsey wonsem especially time and another dan kweku for ne ba omi apese mo be president of Ghana. Sebio ahemfo eni mpenifo mo Ghana nyina obi e kasa. Obi a sorry, obi anya opportunity no, obi anya platformer. They are speaking about galamsey. Yenya institutions, organizations, yenya individuals, yenya CSOs, yenya nipa bebre a omo nyina said ye ekono omo bonjo so anytime they get the opportunity to speak, they all speak on galamsey. But there's one thing that all of us, especially in penifo omo kasa ebem, e bisa wo kwame amwakwa wote asankregwa, wo nimako a wote bekwai, wo ni okan a wote enkran, wo de Livingston Agbezo a wote ahunamemu, wo de kwame kwache a wote kuapem memu no, wo kasa enkom, wo kasa inkinim, wo kasa entumi mpusu president. Eye do ma hene Otumfuo say tutu eye awonafo hene kese togbe kese na wo ho no eye den eye nkranfo hene gamanche eye ahemfo kese eye oguama hene eye ahemfo kese oboga na omkasa ewo so eye president ewo so eye den eye government no. Inti the question here is some penifo nyina to me kasa, but there's one thing missing in their statement. And the statement Otumfuo here, is perfect, it's good. But like other chiefs, the main statement they need to make is to make sure that the leadership takes responsibility. Leadership must take responsibility. When we take away the responsibility part of our statement, when we take away that direct statement of making leaders take responsibility for their leadership, then we are missing the plot. Sende meba asantima asase so, se meko eye domafo asase so, se meko eye ogwafo asase so, na se bibi boni bia esi wa asase ne so a, se bi onipa onam ogwa asase so no, se bi enye ono ena oman no ehye ne nsa, onya ekurawura. Se meko doma hene. Se meba asantima mu a kurawura eye Otumfuo se tutu. Se meba emfantima a kurawura me ankasem wofa de kwesata mekɔ ahunamemu a ɔmo kurawura eni togbe kese a ɔwa ahunamemu sana mekɔ sirem a yana kese mekɔ nzimamemu a mekɔ de krobomemu a. So every town, every city, every place, there should be the owner of that place. The same as when it comes to governance. We all can be presidents. But there's a reason why people are placed in the higher office to take all the incentives that comes with it. There's a reason why people are voted for. It is because they are voting to lead, and when you choose to lead, you need to take criticism and responsibility. So, se penyini die nimwa, na se ekrone say, na a specific thing is not going right. We don't make general statement. We don't say galamsey is war. We all know galamsey is an enemy to us. We all know galamsey destroy yensasini yensuo. We all know say kukrono. But what we are missing is that we are supposed to call the leader who is in charge of Ghana today. We need to ask him the responsibility that comes with your job. Have you delivered? And I have seen continuously ahemfo impenifo kasa wa Ghana, they are moving away from asking them about their responsibility, the role as leaders. They are now generalizing the issue. Seriously. The reason why galamsey abedu hano is because from the time we started speaking about galamsey, edu impempensobia anase edu time bia, we are very broad in our statement. We are not specific. We do not call out our leaders and tell them and ask them that it is your responsibility. Today in Ghana, say you pay gold, $100 billion gold, so it was secular. The president will say, Asasibia or Ghana, the constitution says he owns it. So if the president owns every single land in this country, per the constitution, then if we are speaking on galamsey issues, we need to put the question to the president and his vice and say, you are the leaders. You are supposed to take responsibility. Because we can say all the things we want to say. We can use all the flashy words. We can try and sound more politically correct. We can do everything for people to think that we are neutrals. But somebody has to take responsibility. We need to start questioning the president. We need to start questioning the vice president. We need to start questioning the people who have been given the job. Because for past 8 years, people decided to step forward for us to give them a job. What was the reason why we gave them the job? Because we know that when we give them the job, they will stop some menace. Their leadership qualities, their almost stop it. So for 8 years, na se sata mekufu adoba power, na se galamsey wo na ende galamsey no etumi across the level ayen to me stop here. Then we need to blame the president and the party in government. This is not a time to sound politically correct. This is not a time to sound neutral. This is not a time to be generalizing issues. I was expecting Otumfuo to look in the face of the president and say, you have failed the people of Ghana. Because for the past 8 years, you have been in charge. Because that is why Otumfuo has the power and authority to distill a chief. Because the overlord of the land. He takes responsibility for anything that happens on that land. So why is it that we have handed Ghana over to a person, to a political party, to a leader? That is what Nana Addo is referred to as the excellency, His Excellency. He's referred to as the first gentleman. That is why Otumfuo has been given a big house to live in. We pay for his drugs, we pay for his medics, we pay for his family, we pay for where he will eat, where he will sleep, where he will bath. That is why we have taken it upon ourselves as a nation to take care of Otumfuo. His job is to lead. His job is to correct the wrongs. So if Otumfuo fails, if Otumfuo and his government, after 8 years, almost 8 years, are not able to stop this, then they have failed. We should be strong enough. We should be honest enough to call out the president and say, Mr. President, you have failed the people because you were supposed to solve a problem. You need to take responsibility. Your party needs to take responsibility. We need to decide on what to do next. What to do next is that the party, the president, and his people who took over for the last 8 years, who could not deliver, who could not solve, who are not taking responsibility, we need to stop them. And so this is the time I was expecting Otumfuo to say, I'm also Ghanaian. This is the time the president needs to take responsibility. But in Penifo Kasa, in Kwara Kasa, they are experts who come on TV, experts who come on radio. They are not specific about the issues. What we are doing today, we are making the galamsey fight difficult. Lawyers cannot go to sites to come and tell us, say, so the menace is going to stop. It's not. Yatiana Peace Council is a Christian council. Eso mungu ka mu say porch nkuko eko galamsey site eko to nyamenyom. At the end of the day, who is in charge? It is the president. It is the vice president. Why are we not directing our words to the president? Ebi na ndete Ghana, obi sorry o say adentina mo sorry na mo bo Otumfuo din. Adena o sorry na wo bo Otumfuo din. Mutan Otumfuo. Nipa ni wi a o say Otumfuo yo hene kese. Asante your mind. Na sasante your mind o mind be na panyini ndi anim. So leaders take responsibility. Leaders like Otumfuo needs to take responsibility because it comes with the job. Leaders like Otumfuo, he need to take responsibility. So we expect leaders like Otumfuo to be bold enough, not a coward. So I see this statement as a coward statement. A coward statement because Otumfuo Osei is not ready to hold the bull by the horn. He's not able to tell the president in his face that all these people, over 34 million people, pay their taxes to take care of you. Your job was to make sure things like galamsey stops. But from the time you took over, it has worsened. You have failed the people. So why are we digging around and why are we trying to please? Why are we glazing statement to make it look like say this galamsey issue is a normal issue? It is not. Nobody should trivialize galamsey because let me tell you, galamsey problem or no, it is bigger than COVID-19.